Alright. What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to another live stream. Let's wait for everything to pick up right here. Just flash our beautifully written disclaimer. I wrote this disclaimer like 8 years ago, didn't I? I don't even know. Not that long ago, not even close, but a while ago. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. How are we all doing? Smash up those likes as you are coming in here. We're alive again. Bitcoin bounced off. Bitcoin didn't even hit the support level that we were looking at. It didn't even get low enough. And we've already started to produce a bounce. This is my first time looking at it, so I want to see if this is because of the S&P, and yes it is. Well, that's the next hour or two sorted for what we talk about, because that's pretty fucking straightforward, really. Do you know what? I'm going to get my treadmill. I need to stop being such a lazy bastard. Oh, no, I can't. I need to move the camera. Fuck's sakes. I need to move the camera, man. Ah. Alright, how are we all doing? Welcome to the live stream, everybody. See who we got in the live chat today. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you're watching the last couple of live streams. We've been live streaming close to every day since this kind of price action started to take hold. So, let me know. What's up, Ed? How's it going? Welcome back. Let's see. Where in the world I know we need the treadmill, dude, but I should have thought of it before the stream. Maybe I interrupt the stream, you know, in half an hour or something, and we could talk about that. But welcome to the live stream, everybody. Smash up those likes as you are coming in here today. Let's get this thing above 50 to kick this live stream off. Welcome to the live stream, everyone. So we got Adam and Adam. What's up, Adams? Jason needs hopium. You're not going to get hopium on this YouTube channel, sir, but you will get realism. Good evening from Anglesey, North Wales. Welcome, Dylan. Francisco Fuentes, Symbol. What's up? James. What's going on, James? Apologies for interrupting your workout, sir. Bitcoin is sitting at $124,000 right now. We've got the degen cam on the right-hand side here, the rect cam, whatever we want to call it today. And, I mean, it tells us the story of what's happened pretty well, right? I mean, we can actually flip this onto the 5-minute, and we'll get an even clearer image of what's been going on. This is essentially the same price action, right? If we just put this side by side. So, I mean, you can see that all of that is right in front of us right now. Just kind of showing us how this recovery ended up happening. And we'll be breaking that down throughout this live stream, breaking down where we're going, because hopefully we continue moving somewhere during this live stream. So welcome to the stream, everyone. Let me know where you're watching from, just working through the comments right here. What's up, Shakester from Toronto? John says, things are getting real. I sold on the last pump and jumped right back in, and I'm so happy I did. We need to show assertion. Good stuff, dude. Good stuff. Daveen, live stream with degen cam up and running. Awesome. Welcome to the stream, Daveen. You got James Andy from Newsoms, California. What's up, a fool? I want to call you something else because it sounds like I'm being rude to you. What's up, Dave? Sammy the $1 Million Man. Dave here on duty at the firehouse in Tampa. Hell yeah, dude. The low put in my man. I don't know what that means. Ready to fly. Yeah, you want the treadmill. Yeah. What's up, Ed? What's up, bro? Watched your stream yesterday as well. Your support level was on point. Keep it up, bro. Thank you very much. Yeah, so shout out to Bybit, first of all. Obviously, channel sponsors have been for the longest time. These guys run the best exchange in the world, there's no doubt. And they are offering huge sums of money to trade with when you deposit and start trading using that link in the description. So check that out if, of course, you're not from a restricted region. As you are coming in today, ladies and gents, help me smash up those likes so we can get this live stream started. Let's get this thing above 50 likes right here. Welcome to the live stream, everyone that's just tuning in. Let's see where else. Let's see who else we got in the live chat today. What else we got here? We got California front running such a good support level is very nice, right? So this is the thing. This is what I was talking about in my previous live stream, last few videos, whatever. Is all this support level right here. You know, we've got this support level at about 120,000. If we zoom out, we're on the hourly right here. We get a pretty clear view of this, that, you know, this has been an important kind of support level for Bitcoin going back quite some time. Mainly actually as resistance. It's mainly been an important level as resistance. But what we did here, which is so important, is we didn't actually hit the support level. We front ran it, right? For me, the support level was, you know, basically 120, like 120 flat. Or, you know, more like kind of 19.4, somewhere around there, 19.5. These have always kind of been the levels here. And Bitcoin didn't hit any of them, which I think tells us so much. Now, this really depends on where this goes, right? Because we could do a number of things here. We could form a couple of patterns. We're going to be breaking that down as well. But before we get there, smash up those likes, ladies and gents, for another live stream, another day in a row. We got Boston checking in. What's going on, Boston? What's up from South Africa? Welcome to the live stream, Pierre. St. Louis, Missouri. No hopium, but samium. That's good enough, I guess. Yeah. What's up, Rosie from Canada? Devine Co says, Dave, thank you for your fireman service. I will echo that as well. Dave, thank you very much for your service. What's up, Peter from New York? What's going on? It's best exchange in the world? I would say so. I would say so. Can you please explain the support level? Why is the support level there? So, the reason the support level is here is because we were responding to this level of resistance quite consistently throughout the month of July, where every time the price tried to hit this level, it was getting consistently rejected. And there was many instances of this, and it resulted in, you know, fairly steep market correction. The next time we came back up to this level, we did slice through it, like, you know, a hot knife through butter. That's the expression, right? But the subsequent time when we fell below, we got rejected here again, and then again after that. And then again, we got small rejections and a small bounce. So we're just continuously validating the same level as basically nothing more than, I would say, a point of interest. But that's good enough. That's definitely all you need to see. So, bear with, guys. All right, we're back. So, you know, that's definitely good enough to tell us that this is an important level for the market. And, you know, it's also worth noting that it's the only level we have, right? We don't really have any other levels that we can necessarily work with right now in this market because, you know, it's you know, like, we haven't done anything at these price levels. I mean, there's no other way to say it, right? Like, I'm at a loss for words of this because, to me, this stuff is really obvious. But, you know, if you zoom out onto the daily time frame, for example, like, there's nothing that's happened above 120K, in this case, support now. What am I doing? Am I not? Oh, I'm pasting this in, my bad. There we go. So, you know, that's kind of like the key level as far as what I see here. That's going to be the key level that I'm interested in. And, you know, if we're not able to essentially support ourselves on this level, we are probably dropping down to the bottom of this band. But if we're not able to even hit it, which is what we did here, then we're in a arguably much more bullish place. Now, it totally depends, of course, on where we are in the market. Because if this pump doesn't result in anything now, and we kind of just go sideways a little bit, we're going to start forming a symmetrical triangle. Something that might look a little bit like this. We could start forming a descending triangle. Something that looks a little bit like this. Right, and obviously this is the triangle shape with that, you know, descending baseline. There's a million different things we could do from here, and we need to be aware of how these things could develop into different patterns. We're so close to 50 likes, by the way. If you haven't hit them up so far, definitely smash them up. Welcome to the live stream, everyone. What's up, AL? Back from India to Tel Aviv. Jay from Indiana. We're so close to the end of this bull run, that's my opinion. I mean, dude, tell me about it. Tell me about it, because I don't see it. I got a lot to say on that subject, actually. I got a couple of videos I want to make on that subject, but we can go over those video ideas right here in this live stream, too. Just depends how long we're streaming for. Davine, love that your support bands are a yellow butter color. Hopefully no red hot candles like a hot knife through butter. Thank you for explaining. You're very welcome. We're not done with the explanation. I'm going to carry on in a second. I'm here for the most realistic analysis by the Grand Crypto Master, Sammy Loyal. Thank you very much, Chef. You legend. You legend. Thank you very, very much. I'm pinning that comment, dude. That's a cool comment. Smash the likes and buy Solana. Hell yeah, I can get behind that, dude. I could definitely get behind that. Smash the likes and buy Solana. I like the sound of that. There's a lot. There's a lot I want to show you. Here, let me show you something else that I want to talk about with you guys today. It's just a chart that I looked at today. I was discussing the charts with a couple of my boys, and you know, like there's bearish sentiment going on, ladies and gents. But you know, let's put that to the side for a second. Let's look at this chart on the 3-month and really digest what this shows us. I'm getting sidetracked here for a second, but that's okay. We still got some more people coming in. If we take a look at this, I mean, well, first of all, let's look at it on the regular scale. Okay, so this is Bitcoin basically throughout all of its history. We're past the cycle historically. Travis from Texas, what's up? Thank you all for smashing up those likes, legends. Now, here's the thing. So this is Bitcoin throughout its entire history. We flip this on the logarithmic scale. This is what we're working with. I don't even want to say anything, because I don't want to influence what you guys think. But I want you to tell me what you think in the live chat. I'm just going to put this on screen for a sec. Write out your opinion. Like, keep it brief, or not. I don't mind. I like it when someone wants to put a lot of text in. You know, put a well thought out kind of comment. I'll always read them. I always read all the comments. I can for now. We got Symbol saying higher. Let me know what you guys think in the live chat. This is the 3-month timescale for Bitcoin. Now, let me show you the 12-month as well real quick. Here's the 12-month. Here's the 12-month. Let's put the 12-month on the linear. This is the linear scale. This is the 12-month chart. This is the 12-month chart on the linear scale. This is the 12-month chart on the logarithmic scale. And if we zoom in a little bit, get a little bit more perspective on this, here's the 3-month. So let me know what you think about this in the live chat. I'm seeing a lot. Yeah. Look at the monthly. Let's look at the monthly as well. Yeah. Here's the 1 month. Here's the 1 month. The 1 month. I think a lot of you are thinking what I'm thinking. I mean, it looks quite obvious. Should we have a roast my chart segment on the live stream? Hell yeah, Davine. Hell yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it right now. Let's do it right now. If you guys got a chart set up you want to share, send it through to the team right here on Telegram. It'll get forwarded on to me, and I will put your chart on screen if it's not too boring. Send it through right here. This link in the description. And we will look at what you want to show. Live. I will not name and shame if you don't want me to. I will default to not naming and shaming. I will just show the chart. But if someone needs the smoke and they consent, they will get the smoke. How about that? Looks like it's about to go parabolic. No blow off top yet. Starting to roll over. 2017 run coming. Time to pump. Next is the pump. Going down now. I mean, to me, this segment of the chart right here looks exactly like this segment right here. Or this segment right here. Just this part here. That's how it looks. Let's tighten this up a little bit. Right. This right here. Or this right here. That's what it looks like to me. And it makes sense. I've been saying this for a long time, ladies and gents. I've been saying this for a long time. The markets are going to go up, and then they're going to go parabolic. I mean, shit, we might not go parabolic this time, but every market seems to have that phase. Look, we even had it here briefly. This one was super small, right here. If this rally was less intense, it would probably all look like this. Leading into that parabola. That's what I see right here. So anyway, we'll look at this in a sec. That's kind of a separate video, and I would love to cover that in a separate video, but I'll just make a note of that for now. find out where exactly we are here. Yeah, so we'll look at that in a sec. Let's go back to the main Bitcoin chart, though, and talk about the main Bitcoin chart. We've got the degen cam on the right-hand side here. Switch this back onto the 1 minute, because that's not degen enough on the 5. And we are struggling a tiny bit here. So if Bitcoin cannot hold on, it is going to drop probably toward 123 flat, which is only about $800 away, but that's kind of what I see right there. Nope, that's the wrong chart. I want to put this on the hourly. And let's just break down what we've seen. Let's just break down what's happened here. So, yeah, welcome to the live stream, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in. If you haven't already, smash up those likes. Let's get this thing toward 100. We've got the rect cam, the degen cam on the right-hand side, and we've got Bitcoin on the left. Both of them are Bitcoin. And, I mean, here's what we're dealing with. Bitcoin moved up pretty aggressively. Bitcoin pulled back by about 4.4%. It took about a day. It was a quick drop. It took us quite some time to get up. 3 days to get up. 1 day to get down. Okay, 72 hours up, 24 hours down. Not good. It's not good. It's not ideal. We'll put it that way. It's not ideal. But the response is not weak. The response is not weak. And, more importantly than that, might I add, since you guys love the vibe of this channel, you love that we're super realistic, you love that we don't get caught up in the nonsense, let's keep running with that. Let's keep running with this attitude of not getting caught up in the nonsense. And let's look at the only chart that matters. We'll put it on the right-hand side. It is, of course, you guessed it, mate, it is, of course, the S&P 500. And the S&P 500 is back to up only with its energy. Bitcoin only pulled this off because the S&P 500 recovered. Take a look at this. This was the pump for the S&P 500. It was 2 hours before Bitcoin got this big pump. Now, see, up until this point, Bitcoin getting up to 122, whatever, doesn't look that crazy. The fact that Bitcoin then passed it and got above 124 now puts it back. I mean, this was effectively an all-time high. Not a new one, but it was the previous all-time high before we got here. This was effectively it. We came within $300 of that all-time high. The gold chart. We're gonna take a look at gold today. We're gonna take a look at gold today because gold is one of those standalone videos I was telling you guys I wanted to make. I got a lot to say about gold. The gold chart is rightfully making some people believe that the end of the speculative run for speculative assets could be close. And I understand that. Heard rumors of Binance manipulation, wouldn't doubt it with Aster and BNB pumping. I don't know, dude. I don't know. It definitely could be. Maybe not. James also says, I don't see much retail getting in yet. A lot of sideline people, at least in my small circle. It's been a while since someone has asked me about crypto. I'm not worried about that at all. You know, that's going to come when it comes. And more importantly, you know, and I've spoken about this at length because it's so important. And I'll say it again now here. We're not going to get people coming in and adopting or whatever these things before the prices go up. It's going to be the other way around. So what's going to happen is there's going to be something that looks fun and speculative and exciting, and it's going to go up quite aggressively. And as it goes up aggressively, early investors are going to make a lot of money on it. And when enough of those early investors have made money on it, and those profit screenshots start hitting social media, and screenshots of the chart start hitting social media, that's when people, retail, whoever we want to call them, will get in. And that's where that, you know, adoption comes in, whether it's, you know, something like Solana, or that's just where all the speculation or whatever comes in as well, if it's something else. So I'm not worried about that. I think that comes afterwards. And back to the charts here, S&P 500 is peaking above that all-time high right now. So is Bitcoin. It's essentially at the same place. There are a number of hours left for the S&P 500. No, just under 2 hours left for the S&P 500 in today's trading session. And this is going to be something that I think definitely could turn into a breakout. And if it does, Bitcoin is already well positioned to take advantage of that. Bitcoin is not going to do this without the blessing of the S&P 500. But if the S&P 500 is postured well, then what do we have to worry about? Let's take a look at gold for a second as well, because gold is something that's really casting doubt on these markets right now. Gold has done incredibly. It's set a new high above $4,000. Now, let me give you guys the scoop on gold here. Now, just as a reminder, this is gold on the left-hand side. This is the S&P 500 on the right-hand side. They're both going up at the same time. And this doesn't really make sense. This isn't really what we're supposed to see. But there is an explanation for this. And those of you that have been subscribed for a number of years are going to be very familiar with this explanation. Gold, during arguably the most insane hyperinflationary event we've seen in the last couple decades, was suppressed during and after the COVID pandemic had done its damage. There was a lot of inflation. There was a lot of government spending. There were very low interest rates. There was a lot of crazy shit that had lined up at the same time to stimulate the economy and keep things from collapsing. And somehow, with that being the best time to own gold, for gold to go up as an investment, gold didn't do anything. Gold stayed still from basically when it entered this range in June 2020 up until when it left this range in March 2024. That is damn near 4 years. That gold, during the time where it definitely should have pumped the most, did not pump. And with all of the inflation figures and things like that we had, I had targets for gold. I was like, as gold was suppressed, I was like, well, now that gold's been suppressed for this much time, I think we're going to hit 2,500. And then that suppression time went on for longer. And I raised 2,500 to 3,000. And it went on for longer still. So I raised it to 3,300. And 3,300 was kind of the figure that I landed at. Clearly, it looks like I was wrong. Well, not really, because that's exactly where we paused. That's exactly where we paused. But this rally here, what is this? What is this rally? You guys let me know in the live chat. What do you think this rally is? I'll tell you a couple things I think this rally is. I think the first thing that this rally could possibly be is people looking for a safe haven against the backdrop of another possible Middle East war. Don't know if it's going to happen. Don't know if there's political willpower for it. Don't know if it can be negotiated and happen peacefully. But clearly, a lot of people think there is going to be something happening between two big characters in the Middle East. That's number one. And that's a very typical reason for people to buy gold. But number two, and this is something I don't know how many people have thought of, but it's definitely weighing into the gold price action. AI. AI is scary. We're seeing the job market collapse right now. As we speak. The job market collapse. The knowledge workers. They're out of jobs. If they don't have a job, they're not getting 5-year contracts. They're not getting positions that have a view to do incredibly well in the long term with that same company. They're getting short contracts. There are a lot of scary things happening as a result of AI reaching the point of domination it's reaching. I don't even think most people, frankly, have been thinking about this. Smash up the likes, by the way, ladies and gents, if you are just tuning in. Go ahead and rewind the live stream if you want. We're making important points right now. We're making very, very important points. Make sure you do smash up those likes. Double check that you're subscribed. People are scared. People are hedging against whatever nasty shit could happen. I mean, it could turn into riots for all we know if everybody ends up unemployed. And because of that, gold looks like a good safe haven. But let's be real. Gold didn't end up at $3,300 by accident. And it didn't even end up at $3,300 because it was speculated up to there. That was just a reaction rally from the suppression that gold saw from 2020 to 2024. This is the point we've been making on this YouTube channel going back to 2020, 2021, whenever I first started to notice the pattern. I've been saying this for years. And that's really important because if that means the speculation didn't take us up to 3,300 and that was just kind of whiplash, that was just us rubber banding back to the other side because that's where we were supposed to go anyway, then it makes sense that there's a little bit more of a continued rally for gold. Gold is already rallying up like crazy. It already went from March of 2024. It already went from there to this consolidation range inside of 400 days. A 66% move. That's good. That sets gold up to now have an incredible chart for people to speculate on. And now we get those speculation investments coming in. But it's not different on the S&P 500. So you can't construe this with the data that you have right now. With the data that you have right now, this can change. But as it stands, you can't construe this as being a bad thing for the S&P 500. The fact is, the S&P 500 is going up because it's a representation of company stocks which are going up. And gold is going up because it's fulfilling a rally it was supposed to fulfill years ago. And it's got more speculation on the back of it. The dollar is going down. The dollar is at lows. Let's take a look at the dollar. The dollar is even up today. Fucking everything's up. So this is what I'm saying. But broadly speaking, the dollar is going down. The dollar hit a new low just like 2 weeks ago. So we're clearly at a very interesting point in the market where it's definitely not black and white. That's one thing it's not, is it's not black and white. It's not gold up equals Bitcoin down. It's not gold up equals S&P 500 down. There's been a lot of suppression. And I'm not saying that this is healthy price action, by the way. The S&P 500 looks insane. The S&P 500, if you really zoom out, looks like it needs a big drop. Maybe something like the COVID drop. Maybe something a little bit more real. Like the '08 drop. Clearly. It's been running for a long time. It looks silly. I understand why the Warren Buffett bootlickers, the Michael Burry bootlickers, and so on and so forth, have been saying what they've been saying. I understand it. They have a point. But where I come in to balance this, because I'm not here to just have, you know, a fun intellectual conversation. I want to actually make money off this. Thanks for 100 likes, you legends. Smash them up if you haven't done so already. What I come in and say is, look, you're right. This does look unsustainable. But the entire economy, not only of the US, but the global economy, has been unsustainable for many decades. Will it collapse eventually? Maybe. Probably. I don't know. But will it collapse right now? Do you want to take that bet? The sun is shining. Markets are up. Put a stop loss in. Who cares? Put a stop loss in. Ride the money with a stop loss. If you're wrong, you're wrong. You lose what you have on your stop loss. Doesn't mean be sidelined, because a lot of people are sidelining themselves. And that, I think, is where this kind of falls apart a little bit. Gold, up by quite a bit. Let's get gold up again. Gold up by quite a bit. And I think that's all, you know, speculation, fears, whatever you want to call it. Definitely makes sense. Let's also remember, gold can have pullbacks. This is the time where it's worth remembering that gold can have pullbacks. Gold has essentially moved up from $1,600 to $4,000 without a pullback. Without, like, a real pullback. It's been 1,000 days straight, pretty much, of going up with a 2.5 times gain. This will upset some people. The idea that gold can have pullbacks. It will upset some people. What do you mean gold can have pullbacks? It's gold. Shut up. You hate gold. All sorts of, you know, silly things that people could say. People aren't going to like these ideas. Does that validate these ideas or does that disprove these ideas? That's a question for you to ask yourself. But as far as it stands right now, I don't think gold is doing anything that's surprising. And I think that it's moving very much in line with what you would expect for an asset that's been suppressed for so long. So let's bring it back to crypto and let's see what this means for crypto. Obviously, Bitcoin right now is up a little bit. Clearly, I think happening in response to the S&P 500 being up a little bit. The S&P is strong, so Bitcoin is strong. It really just works like that. And that's why we see Bitcoin back up here. So, as it stands, not super concerning. We just have to see how it goes. We have to see how it goes for things like gold. We have to see how it goes for things like the dollar. Most importantly, we have to see how it goes for the S&P 500, because the S&P 500 is the closest real market that we can investigate and analyze that has a direct bearing on Bitcoin, in my experience. Could be wrong. I don't know. I've only been doing this for 8 years. How are we feeling in the live chat, ladies and gents? Welcome to the live stream, everyone that did tune in during my little rant over there. We've got a lot more standard Bitcoin price action we're going to be going through in this live stream. But how are we feeling in the live chat? If you are just tuning in, Bybit remains your best spot in the game. Check them out if you are interested in trading these markets with up to $30,000 for free to trade with. If you make money, if you make profits with that 30K, you can throw that 30K anywhere you like. If you make profits with it, those profits are yours to keep. So check them out if you're not from a restricted region. Blowfin, another great option. Great alternative. Aggressive bonuses. Well worth checking out. Those guys are getting big. Blowfin. Devine, if physical gold is going up, surely digital gold must go up. But I'm just a nobody on the internet. You know, it's an interesting point, right? It's this whole argument that says, you know, Bitcoin is digital gold, so Bitcoin should do what gold does. I agree. But the markets haven't shown us that yet. They are right now. There is that positive correlation right now. But historically, when shit really did hit the fan and things started going crazy, we didn't really see gold supporting Bitcoin or bolstering a narrative for Bitcoin. From what I saw, we didn't really see that. That tells me that Bitcoin is still seen much more as a speculative asset than it's seen as a safe haven asset. I understand that the branding of Bitcoin is digital gold, peer-to-peer, unconfiscatable currency. That's the branding of it. That's the story of it. It's not even the story many people understand these days, but that's how it started. But I don't think that's what it is. I think realistically it's become essentially another vehicle for the global market manipulators to manipulate Bitcoin too, and get what they want out of it, scrape their, you know, single double-digit percentage points off it by manipulating the asset. That's, you know, I mean, that's what I see here. And I think we've got plenty of evidence for it. You know, so it is what it is. I mean, I would love to say that it's digital gold and it should go up if gold goes up, but frankly, you don't want it going up if gold goes up. We've got gold. It's nice that Bitcoin is essentially a hyper profitable version of things like the S&P 500 instead. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is something I like. I like its place in investment portfolios as a result right now. If it does change to being like digital gold, then fantastic, but I really think that when the bigger players came in and saw this market, they saw a market of absolute degenerate idiots in crypto that would be easy to make money off if they just kind of, you know, throw the market around wherever they want it. And I think that's what they're going to do. And I think that's what they're doing now. Bitcoin to the move. Solana, please. We will look at Solana in a second. Dave Flowers says, my wife's got a turkey in the oven and the house smells so good. That is fantastic. Thank you for sharing, sir. Enjoy that turkey. I love your point of view from Lady. Thank you very much, Lady Bitcoin. Taxes are killing Bitcoin. No tax on gold in UK. Really? I don't know about that. I don't believe that. No tax on physical gold in US? Okay. Okay, well, I mean, if it's US and UK, that makes a bit more sense. You got two separate people saying that now in the live chat, but I had no idea about that. That's so interesting. I don't think it really matters, though. You get... Oh, no, sales tax. Okay, well, sure. I mean, it's a commodity, so you wouldn't expect sales tax on it. But anyway, let's bring it back to some Bitcoin analysis here and cover what else we see in this chart. You know, Bitcoin right here front ran that $120,000 support level, which is a very good sign for bulls. Now, it's a case of seeing where this takes us, okay? Because if Bitcoin is going to essentially, you know, tap up some of these higher levels, maybe right here, and then drop back down, we really have to watch this low. If we swing below this low, I can't have faith in this support level anymore. We've already front ran the support level. The support level was always down here at 120. We already front ran it. We didn't fall as low as 120. I think this has pretty negative consequences for the market now if we do end up seeing a drop back below this low. The fact that we've already interacted with this level by front running it tells me that essentially this level is now spent, and if we have to fall back down here again, it's not going to be pretty. It's probably going to mean a further drop for Bitcoin, at least down to the next support level at 117K. It's worth bearing in mind that this entire price range between 117 and 120 has historically been a consolidation range for Bitcoin. So it completely makes sense that if we do sweep this low, Bitcoin is going to come anywhere in this range. Call it 118.5, call it 117, call it 116.4. Anywhere here down to 116.4 makes complete sense to me with this chart. So that's what I see right here for Bitcoin in terms of some of its worst case scenarios. And that's really important because we are right now producing a little bit of a sell-off, not here on the 4-hour time frame, but for example here on the 1-hour time frame. We do have a little bit of a sell-off that we're showing right here, and if this does continue to strengthen and start sweeping lows, that's where we're in trouble. I don't have faith in this support level anymore. We've already used it by front-running it. I don't think it's a strong support level. We could still get a bounce off this level, but any bounce off this level I would assume to be either very quick or very shallow. I would expect it to be either of those two things. But I wouldn't expect this level to hold at this stage. So that's something I'm looking at there. Like I said, you know, clearly massive influence coming in from the S&P 500, resulting in this pump so far. We'll take a look at Bitcoin on a small time frame again here, so we can see what it's doing on the minute chart. This is not the ideal Bitcoin chart. I'll go for the Coinbase one. We'll see how Bitcoin continues to do right here with that degen cam on the right hand side. Where do we have to go to be a sustained pump in your eyes? I mean, the sustained pump means that the pump happens and then the pump doesn't stop happening. So, you know, it's more about time, right? So I would need to see it clear 126, but then it would need to stay moving up for a matter of days, ideally, to be called sustained. I mean, that's what I would assume sustained to mean. Whales are dumping? I don't know. Maybe. I don't think it really matters. I don't think it really makes a difference, is my point, you know? Yeah, no, it's a pumped up market. It's a pumped up market right now. You know, like things looked pretty bleak yesterday, and we saw people looking pretty bearish about the market yesterday as a result of this. And it's kind of just been erased in a day. It's going to leave people scratching their heads. People clearly still haven't come around the curve to understand what this market is doing. This is what I'm saying. I literally don't think people can understand what this market is doing. I don't think people can understand how much Bitcoin is pegged to the S&P 500. Like, S&P 500 pumped and Bitcoin was up 2 hours later. We covered that. Just now. Rewind the stream. We'll look at it again. Here. We'll pull it up again. Take a look at this. On the hourly for both. And we zoom in on the S&P. We zoom in on Bitcoin. Let's put them side by side even. And look at this. This is the candle that the S&P 500 pumped. It was 3 hours later Bitcoin moved. S&P kind of starts to cool off. Bitcoin moves. You can't say this is an accident. It's not an accident. Look, like, Bitcoin and the S&P move hand in hand all the time. S&P was moving up pretty aggressively here. And this is where Bitcoin started to pick up. When the S&P topped, Bitcoin kept going. Bitcoin wasn't done. They move the same way. They're just kind of slightly out of sync, but not enough to be anything worth talking about or commenting on or worrying about. The correlation is there. People don't understand this. People don't understand how strongly Bitcoin is pegged to the S&P. Let's talk about altcoins. We got a little bit of altcoin chatter right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start maximizing my charts here so that I'm not putting two charts on the screen at the same time. Let's take a look at some Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance itself, just kind of hanging out. It's not doing anything. It's not moved anywhere. It's just kind of stabilizing here. I honestly don't know what to make out of this. I think moving up or down equally makes a lot of sense from here. What I will definitely say is if Bitcoin dominance does move up, we're going to see altcoins hit some really attractive levels. I mean, XRP is a big one that I've been watching for some time, and it is just sliding into an incredible buy range. And this is a buy range that we haven't seen for a long time on XRP. The last time that we saw this buy range was mid-July, early July. We're now in early October. So that's, you know, a whole 3 months later. And before that, we saw it briefly for a day, and then briefly for a day again, and properly we saw it right after Trump got elected. So that's pretty sweet. Historically, XRP doesn't really move up and then keep its gains. It did do that here, but in a much larger range. This one is a lot tighter. XRP against the dollar. This one's even more clear. XRP moved up and kept its gains here, and it exploded again accordingly. No surprises. We've done the same thing again just now. We did it here on a large scale, and we did it here again on a small scale. XRP is showing strength. And if Bitcoin continues to rise up in dominance, this XRP chart is going to become even more attractive for a longer term buy. So I think that looks absolutely phenomenal. Again, that's Bitcoin dominance. If Bitcoin dominance moves down from here, which also makes a lot of sense, like I said, I can't really say which one I think is going to happen more likely. I mean, eventually we're headed down. That I can say for sure. But, you know, if we're going to have a bit of a scenic route up before we go down, that's what I'm saying, that I don't really know about. But, you know, if this thing does end up dropping down, look at the coins that are well positioned. Look at Ethereum against Bitcoin. It's seen its rejection off this resistance level. It's been a lengthy rejection. This is the, you know, one of the slowest rejections, I mean, longest rejections we've seen for Ethereum so far. There was this one right here. This one lasted 65, 67 days to break out. Let's say just down to the low, because that's a more fair comparison. This one took 40 days to hit the low. This one, 34 days. It's been a, you know, it's been a reasonably sized correction so far. I mean, it was good enough last time. It doesn't have to be good enough now. It could continue to slide lower. But my point is that these coins, which are strong, have reset a little bit. XRP does its own thing. I don't like it anymore. Most annoying. I understand. But, you know, what's important to keep in mind is some coins are going to move in their own time. And you need to know that that's what you're getting into before you buy those coins. Otherwise, you know, you're going to end up making, you know, a bad decision, a poor decision. And more importantly, it would be a decision that, you know, you could have kind of avoided. You need to be okay with holding a coin that essentially is going to, like XRP, even Ethereum a little bit. Ethereum was definitely playing this role for a lot of time up until it hit its bottom. You know, where other coins are going to be doing well and partying and having fun, and your coin is just kind of be sitting there, maybe even dropping a little bit. But eventually, with a coin that's strong enough and real enough, like Ethereum or XRP, they'll kind of just move in their own time when something happens. With XRP, maybe it's a lawsuit that gets won. With Ethereum, maybe it's whatever, I don't know. And that'll result in extreme price action just on that one asset. And it will happen on a different clock. And again, if you're not okay with that, then yeah, you want to pick something a little bit more predictable. Maybe not predictable, that's not the right word, but something a little bit more, I don't know, something that has less of an identity. Something that pumps as part of a wave of other coins that pump. For example, Dogecoin, Pepe, for memes. Or other memes, Shiba, whatever. Those are coins that, you know, are going to move in waves. They won't really move on their own. And you just got to figure out, you know, what works for you in that sense. You know, in terms of what you want to be holding. Sold them for a profit, thank God. Not buying again, way too unpredictable for me. Yeah, I understand. It's one of the reasons I didn't buy XRP for a long time. It is. The relationship between S&P and Bitcoin, I wonder if the S&P companies are becoming more and more exposed to Bitcoin price movements. They probably are a little bit, to some extent at least, but I don't think on any real significant enough level to be talking about. Chris V8 says, I'm not an XRP fan neither, but XRP has always done its own thing to a certain extent and had its best rallies at points when others didn't. Exactly. He said the same thing I said, arguably better than I said it. So thank you, Chris V8. Ladies and gents, let's smash those likes up to see if we can hit 150. Thank you all very much for the support so far. We've been live streaming for about 45 minutes. Pretty good. Pretty good stream so far. Smash them up if you haven't done so already. Double check, of course, that you are subscribed. This is what we do. 4Flies Gold gets free market updates exclusive to them as well. That's our Telegram channel linked in the description. You can't see it because the media is too big here, but we did post this exclusive bit of analysis in that Telegram channel. So go ahead and check that out. Yeah, so that's a couple of the altcoins that I think are interesting and important. S&P just looks like it wants to pop. So, you know, that's what I think that's going to do. And Bitcoin's just kind of waiting in line for that to happen. We had a pullback. It's done. Is it enough? I don't know. But it's a start. It's good. 4.4% in a day. It's sharp. It's quick. It's not particularly deep, but it's quick. And that's painful too. It was painful for a lot of people. We don't need to drop hard. Sometimes we just need to drop aggressively. Sometimes we need to drop slowly. Sometimes the pain is time, not price. I think we all have a very good understanding of what pain through time means at this stage of the market. So close to 150, you legends. Smash them up if you haven't done so already. Let's go through some questions. And then we'll probably start wrapping up this stream from here. Covered a lot of the main points that I do want to go over in this stream. And like I said, as always, we'll be back if something interesting happens in this market. If something opens up. If something's, you know, kind of worth talking about. We'll be back with another live stream in a few hours, whatever. Make a new video, whatever we need to do. So make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you got that bell icon checked. Absolutely sick. If you want to get inside of our coaching program, 1-to-1. That's going to be with this link in the description down below. You can reach out, ask for some information about it. It's a 12-week program. Incredible results. Only incredible results so far, I should add. Very, very cool. If you want to get yourself inside of that. See what we got here in the live chat. Sammy, you turned me on to Crypto Kirby. Where is he at? Love this show. I don't even know, dude. I don't even know. Is it paid? That link? Yes. That offer, that coaching program is paid. Yes. And it's expensive. It's not cheap. But it's legit. Can you let me know your thoughts on AVAX or Link against Bitcoin? I don't really have any thoughts on those two coins. It's not something... Those are not two coins that I look at all. Not for any particular reason. I just don't have any real interest in them. It's not to say that they're good or bad. Alright, let's take a couple last questions and probably round this stream off. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to talk to you guys about. I got a couple more things, but I think I want to make standalones on them. Because they're big topics. And I need to talk about them properly. I probably need to edit those videos a little bit. I guess essentially a big part of these things is just that, you know, like, I'm always looking for real factors that kind of indicate trouble for speculative markets. We're in a speculative market, right? I'm always looking for, you know, real factors that will indicate trouble for them. And I haven't seen a concerning image here. I've just been seeing, you know, the same people that fucked up every single consolidation event for Bitcoin throughout this entire market cycle also being bearish again yesterday. I mean, if they don't want to learn, that's fine. I will. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the market's clearly in a good place. It's clearly in a good place. Is it overextended on the S&P on a weekly scale, monthly scale? Yes. Does that mean it's going to end here? How do you know? I don't know. How do you know? It's still going up. Put a stop loss in and fucking get on. Or not. I don't know. Probably should have done it 6 months ago or a year ago or 2 years ago. This wasn't hard. This is what I'm saying. This wasn't a hard thing to see coming. So I think that's me kind of wrapping up the stream here. We'll take a couple last questions if you guys do have them. I want to see 150 before I go. We've got 3 likes left. Smash them up if you haven't done so already. $123,700. We're just chilling up here. I don't want to make decisions conclusions, anything, until we either get above this high or we get below this low. Outside of that, we're essentially entering a sideways range, which is great. That gives us opportunities in the altcoin market. Double smash the likes from John. Thank you very much, sir. Chris V8, either way, opened a 15x long on S&P on SPX 6900 at 91 cents. Absolutely killer entry. I'm now writing up. Good shit, dude. Congratulations. Why hasn't the altcoin market pumped, though? Well, the altcoin market is going to pump typically when Bitcoin goes up and sideways. And we've started to see that. And there are a couple of coins that are pumping. They're not the big ones that we would probably expect. Some of them are, like Binance. I mean, Binance coin is just absolutely shit on this fucking market, dude. You know, since the beginning of this month, October, Binance coin just absolutely took a shit on crypto, dude. There's no other way. It's not a nice thing to say at all, but it's what happened. It was just not playing the same game. Aster, BTC. Oh, there's no BTC chart, really? Okay. Well, we'll look at the dollar chart. Incredible rally. This is just from, you know, mid-September onwards. So, some coins have. Others have formed some sort of reaction rally upward, like Ethereum. Ethereum set this low against Bitcoin here at 0.35 BTC per token. 0.351. And it rallied all the way up to 0.38. So that's about a 10% increase against Bitcoin. That's a bit of a rally. I think the bigger problem is that people don't really appreciate what they get in these markets. You know, for a lot of people, it's like, oh, but this is nothing. I get it, but the market's slow. My accent sounds like a hybrid Scottish or English. You know, I get Scottish a lot. Don't understand why. I don't understand. I've probably spent in total 2 weeks of my life in Scotland. And I don't hear the Scottish, to be honest. To be honest, I don't. Hitting like, Sammy, I got you. Thank you very much, Lewis. Thank you, a 4. It's the chitting your tongue. What? It's the what? I don't even get it. I feel sorry for you spending your time there. Nah, dude, I like Scotland. I like Scotland. Scotland's one of the coolest places in the world. If you guys haven't been to Scotland, if you're in the UK, if you're British, go to Scotland. Go to the Highlands specifically. Don't go to fucking Glasgow or Edinburgh. Go north. Go to the real north, as they say. Go to the real north. See what Scotland is. Scotland. I've been to many beautiful places in the world, and Scotland, for the 15 minutes of sunshine you might get during summer, is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. Been to the Peak District. Yeah, the Peak District is very cool. Lake District is cool. Scotland invented the Western world. I didn't know about that. That's cool. It's my O's. There's definitely a twang of Scottish. Sammy is the Highlander. You legends. That's Bitcoin there. And we are seeing a tiny drop on Bitcoin dominance right now. So this could be more of a speculation kind of drop right here in altcoins. I think we're just impatient. I really think that's it. You know, we're talking about why haven't we seen an alt rally yet? I mean, dude, chill. We've seen a few alt rallies. And we're probably going to get more. I think we're going to get more. It's not going to happen during every single consolidation event for Bitcoin. When the conditions are right, they happen. And I don't think we've seen the right conditions yet. I think we need more excitement from Bitcoin spilling over into altcoins. I don't think we've got that excitement yet. That's why I think Bitcoin can go up a lot further before alts really start taking off. Crypto Jacker says, tires, tarmac, astrophysics, you name it. We did modern banking, the lot. Iron that made the steel for bridges and skyscrapers. Fair enough, dude. A fool says I don't sound Scottish at all. I don't know. It's so mixed. Because I get Crypto Jacker seems Scottish. I get Scots telling me that I sound Scottish. GTA, can't forget that. Yeah. Yeah. To be fair, GTA did come out of Scotland. Yeah, it did. That is true. That is true. So what is it about the Scottish that did all these amazing things? How? Because you guys, like, when I think of Scotland, I think, not me, I know what Scotland is, but when most people think of Scotland, they think of dudes in fucking skirts playing on the bagpipes and cold, gloomy shit weather. Maybe with a little volcano in one of your major cities that is inactive now, you know? I think he sounds like a Cambridge University guy. Could do. Sound like I'm from around London? I think so. I think so. London, like proper Londoners, they speak proper, and there's a couple different categories of proper Londoners. The white ones speak beautifully, but, well, some of the white ones. But, you know, London these days is much more street. And I think it just sounds a little bit stupid. Soon enough, all the English will be heading north. Nothing else to do but create. Bro, sounds like he's from Westminster. Definitely don't sound like a roadman. No, I don't think so. I grew up with roadmen. A lot. I grew up in shit areas, man. It's funny, because, like, people who know me, they'll see me hang out with my, like, high school friends. And then I start talking similar. Not fully like that, but similar. It's like, oh, where did this come from? I thought you read books. You know, I get these kind of reactions from people. Deep fried Mars bar from Scotland. Yeah, that is dirty. That is dirty, and it does come from Scotland. I remember having, I think it was haggis, and I didn't know what haggis was, and I was like, okay, when I found out, I was like, this is kind of disgusting. I'm trying to escape Wales to South Korea. Wow. That's an interesting change. Tell us about that, if you want. Luton, breath. Man, Luton is an interesting place, isn't it? Luton exemplifies the UK. Luton is the inner core of the UK at this stage. You're Scottish and you haven't had haggis. Did you? I don't understand your comment. But anyway, with that, ladies and gents, I think I'm going to be heading off. Thank you all very much for tuning in. It's been a brilliant live stream. We've been live streaming for about an hour now. I'm happy with that. And like I said, if anything interesting does develop in this market, we'll be back later on. If not, we'll just come back with another video. Speak to you guys tomorrow, whatever the deal may be. Oh, deep fries Mars bar. Okay, yeah. That makes more sense. Alright, ladies and gents, thank you all very much for tuning in. You know what to do. Smash up those likes. Subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff. And we'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.